My name is Adam Brooks. I'm the Loose Ledge, and keep watching The Roman Show.
This is The Roman Show.
So Adam, tell me a little bit about yourself. Obviously you're from Australia. You were trained by Murphy, who's right now currently in NXT. Tell me a little bit about that history, how you got started with wrestling.
Well, our history, man. So I started training when I was about 15, and I didn't meet Matt. I'll call him Matt because I know him as Matt. I didn't meet Matt till maybe I was about 18 years old, and he walked into training to help the other guy that was currently taking training, and I'd seen videos of him, and I was like, oh my god, that's Matt. It was Matt Sewell. That was his name before he became Buddy Murphy in NXT. So I kind of just I marked out a little bit, and we I don't know, I guess he just saw something in me, and he took me under his wing, and he's my mentor. He's a guy I look up to. He's we're as close as brothers. I'm lucky that I can come here and wrestle here in Florida, and then I have a free couch to stay on at his place as well. So it's cool. It's good to catch up with him. Obviously I don't see him as much as I did, but it's good to catch up, and yeah, man.
So I was reading a little bit that you had to turn on him over there in Australia in one of the promotions. How was that? I mean, your mentor, you respected him, he taught you things, and then you have to turn on him and work with him?
I loved it. It was his idea because obviously he'd signed with WWE, and his last match he wanted against myself. So he pitched this whole big storyline to them, and they went with it. And yeah, we just went from there. It was cool because the promotion wasn't fully behind me turning heel. They weren't confident that I'd be able to do it, but I've wrestled as a heel ever since, so I guess it's worked out.
So you followed his path, obviously, here in NXT, so tell me a little bit about the Australian wrestling. Obviously, WWE has had a good eye on some of the Australian talent, and tell me about the life in pro wrestling in Australia and the promotions and so forth that people don't know here in America.
Man, I guess it's the same as pretty much everywhere. You've got your promotions all over the place. In my state alone of Victoria, we have 7 promotions, which is nuts. So a lot of the guys are wrestling on every single, one of those shows each weekend. Myself, I'll wrestle for maybe 3 of them, and then every now and then if, another one wants to bring me over to their place, that's fine. But yeah, I guess it's the same as anywhere. And right now, because of all these people getting picked up by NXT, and then we have guys, myself coming here, we've got guys going to England. A lot of the girls are doing a lot of the Shimmer and the Shine stuff. So a lot of Aussies are really travelling and getting out there now, and it's making a lot more people have eyes on the Australian scene. So yeah, I guess it's a positive, man. And you've got your really talented promotions and all of that, and then you've got your stuff that are just a bit I don't know. I guess they're not very good, but that's everywhere, man. But it's good that Australian wrestling is it's getting a lot more eyes lately, I feel. So.
And how about the training facilities? Is it hard to find a place? I mean, who can you trust?
Look, I guess there's plenty of places to train, but then you've got that stuff can you trust this guy? Will this guy brainwash us? If we train here, does that mean we can only wrestle for this place? I was extremely lucky because I trained at a place where they prefer a lot of their guys to be exclusive and only wrestle for that promotion, which in my opinion, I understand their side, but I think it's silly because you're not going to learn wrestling your best friend every single weekend. You have to travel, you have to learn this way, and and I was lucky because I had Matt who had my back, and he said, no, Brooksy's not just wrestling here, we're going to drive 8 hours to Adelaide this weekend, and he's going to wrestle there. So, I guess I was lucky in that respect, but there's some really good schools there. I was training with Riot City Wrestling for about 5 months. They're based in Adelaide, South Australia. I was living there for about 5 months, And I loved training there, man. Like, it's such a family atmosphere. It's so cool. I've heard EPW in Perth, extremely good. That's where Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols came from. They debuted on NXT this week as TM61. I've heard that PWA over in Sydney is quite good, as well as Newcastle Pro. Like, man, there's training everywhere. It's just about trying to find the right place, and just trying to not get brainwashed and not get roped into that whole you only wrestle for us, because you're not going to learn wrestling at one promotion. You have to travel, and traveling's the fun part.
You mentioned TM61, and I know they had a very much success in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or in Japan. A lot of Aussies going from Australia to Japan to wrestle. A lot of the Australian wrestlers heading out to Japan.
Yes, there's been quite a few lately. There's Jonah Rock, actually. He's a really, really talented dude from South Australia. And he's been wrestling over in Noah when Shane and Mikey were there. And like, his first match there was against Kenta, who's now Hideo Itami. So yeah, Jonah Rock, like, I wish I could see more stuff of him in Japan, because he's amazing, and I love wrestling him. He's awesome. And then I think a few of the girls have been going over lately, like Kelly Skater's headed over a few times. Yeah, man, like Japan and England. Like, a lot of people are going to England these days, which is cool, and they're coming back with a lot of fancy stuff. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was actually speaking to Ricardo Rodriguez, who was explaining to me, who used to be in NXT and WWE, and the difference is that wrestling, in Mexico you got your high flying, and in England you got your chain wrestling. What would you say Australia sets, what do the Australians have that others don't have? So that sets them apart when it comes to wrestling?
See, that's hard, man. Like, I guess there's a lot of Australians that they wrestle the same certain ways as like an American, or they can wrestle the same way as someone from Japan or something. That's really like a hard question. Like, I mean, maybe our accents. Like, I can't really put my finger on what's different about Australians, because like, if you watch a lot of the product back home right now, it's very similar to this. Like, I think we're really killing it. Like, if you check out places like MCW, like, they have an on-demand service. Like, they're killing it. Like, their production's getting better. Like, the crowds are getting bigger. The crowds are always loud. Yeah, if you get a chance, check out MCW on Vimeo on demand. Some really, really cool stuff there.
So what's next for Brooks?
Man, I've got 3 more weeks here, and I've got some cool stuff lined up. I'll keep it quiet because I don't want to jinx myself and things maybe don't work out. But so far, I've got some cool stuff coming up here in the remaining 3 weeks of the video. And then, man, I'll just go back home and figure out what journey I decide to take to next.
This is The Roman Show.